I'm a big guy on energy. I don't know about you.
Same here.
We follow each other on Instagram and TikTok. So whenever I see you in a video and you're always so excited, you're always so passionate. And I love that because if you don't have passion for what you do, what's the point of doing it?
I agree. And that's the energy that I try to show who we are at Way Back When. It's the positive energy, do what you love, and just have fun. That's the whole idea. I mean, do what you love. That's the whole thing about it, Way Back When.
Your story is like a time capsule. I remember the first time I walked in there and you said, all right, what do you want? And I said, what do I want? Isn't this a collectibles store? And you were like, no, not really. Walk in. You got to come here. And
man, when you walk through my doors, I'm going to take you back in time. I mean, I'm going to take you back further that, your mom, your dad, your grandparents. And the whole reason of Way Back When, I just want you to remember.
Yeah.
It's not about buying in my store. It's just remembering the good times that you had when you were young with family members are not here anymore with you. And it's just enjoying the passion that we had when we were kids. And that's the whole thing when you walk into Way Back When. That's the energy that I provide for everybody.
Yeah.
That's the whole cool thing.
No, it comes through in your content for sure. I mean, that's how I met you. I bought some Pokemon cards off this guy at a Comic-Con, and we just exchanged numbers. He's like, "Oh, come through, come check out the store." And I came, and I fell in love with the place. Good. I can't forget the first thing, not the first thing, but one of the things you showed me as soon as I told you, "No, I'm more of a Batman fan," and you were like, "Wait a second." You pulled out these signature collector cards that were like signed by Michael Keaton. That's crazy.
Oh, it's crazy. So I'm a huge Batman fan too. So when you said Batman, that's the whole thing. It's the connection with your clients that come in your store. I don't look at clients or customers. I look at friends and family. So when you come into my store and you walk in, you become part of the family and you become a friend of the store. And that's the whole concept at our store location. But when I had those Batman cards and I showed you, we had Michael Keaton, Michelle Pfeiffer, we had Jack Nicholson,
autographed,
all autographs, authenticated.
Crazy.
And with the hype of, with the Flash movie out there and the Joker and all this stuff going on, it was just getting you to remember back 1989. And that's the whole feeling, to remember, I remember this. That's the cool thing about us,
Yeah, man.
I just love it, man.
And even if I never would have bought anything at your store, the fact that I saw that and was able to, like, someone who's a fan of something like that and gets to see something like that, it's just it's a remarkable experience. No other, I really honestly believe no other store can provide that kind of experience, really, because it's just it's really one of a kind stuff.
It is, and that's the whole thing. So when I opened Way Back When 8 years ago, now we're talking about 8 years ago, I want to be different. I didn't want to be like other comic book stores or toy stores, because when you go in there, they're not going to provide. Maybe I'm not a comic book collector. Maybe I'm not a toy guy. So when you go into our store, I'm going to take you back to military, sports, rock and roll memorabilia, war memorabilia on top of it. Then you got comic books, hot toys, sideshow, Star Wars, whatever you're looking for. We have over 13 different categories in our store location. And that's the beauty, because we are outside the box. And when you walk in, it's almost like a museum feel that you can actually touch and hold and say, holy cow, you have that? And that's the understanding. When you walk in, I want you to feel that. And that's the passion of my store. I love it. I just love it. With the guys there, my crew, and we're all one big clique. That's who we are. And you could tell by the videos that we do every other day, I love that, man.
You must have such a huge variety of people that you deal with on a daily basis, because you have so many. It's a collectible store, but you deal in so many different categories. Like you said, it could be some young kid trying to buy Pokemon cards. Yeah. It could be some older dude who like a Star Wars fanatic or something. Yeah. It could be some old gamer head that used to play back in the 80s, Nintendo or Atari or something. There's so many different faces that I picture walking through your store.
I tell people, if you're 5 years old, you're going to love it. If you're 80 years old, you're going to remember it, because even when we have our seniors that come into the store, the telephones, the rotary dials, the typewriters, cameras, they feel great, because that's a passion that we lost, because, technology takes everything. And then you have us that we remember comic books, remember Pokemon, remember all these toys back in the day. I mean, you got so much variety in one store.
Right.
That's why the questionable is, why are we different compared to other stores in the area? And, they look at us and we're considered a secondhand store.
Right.
But with the rapport that we have with people, the acknowledgement, we've been on Deco Drive. We've been on Channel 10. We are looking at a pilot episode. We're looking at talking to A&E. And that's the whole thing. And we're going to be the same crazy crew. So we want the experience as well as we want to give you the experience. And that's the whole passion of way back when. It's not about buying and selling. It's about remembering. And that's the whole idea. And I met all my friends that work for me, but we don't call it work. We just have fun. And they all were customers at one time, and we just clicked. That's what we have, and I love it. That's the passion,
That's super awesome, man.
Yeah, man. I love that thing, man.
So originally, are you from Florida? Where you from?
I am from Chicago, Illinois. So
Chicago.
I'm a big Chicago boy, yeah. So I'm from the north side, and I came back in the mid 80s.
Okay.
And as an 80s kid, we had everything. We didn't like it back then, but we love it now because guess what? I'll give you my age. I'm 50 years old. But you know what? I'm now like at that time in my life, and my pinnacle time is that I'm remembering everything to teach my sons. They're 15 and 19 and 23. So I'm teaching them as well about respect, and also, look at the idea of what you have now compared to what we have. So it's pretty cool that I see that.
Definitely.
I love it. I just love it.
What year? So you grew up in Chicago. What year did you end up moving?
I came down here in 1985, so that was the hype, and didn't know anything. Florida, hot, I'm from north side of Chicago, and then I saw a lot of things: beaches, palm trees, blue skies. We're up north is streets. You have churches. Everywhere you go is bars. You know what I'm saying? But down here in South Florida, I learned to adapt, and I've never left. I still go back home once in a while, but I'm in Florida now. And my family's all in Florida. My kids were raised, so this is my home now. So,
that's awesome.
yeah, I love it.
I know. I remember you told me originally your family's from Peru, right?
No, my family's from Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
Yeah,
okay.
They're from Puerto Rico and from Caguas. They're from the mountains, and they're still there. They're still up there, and you know what? I have family in South Florida as well. And I have in Doral, I have in Plantation. They're mixed everywhere. But you know what? It's great to see a lot of my family here in Florida compared to when I was up in north or in Chicago. Right. So they're all down here. So I love it.
That's awesome. Yeah. Florida, that's something I love about Florida. It's one of the few states in the country where anybody comes and they just feel at home. It's one of those things that you can never leave.
I agree. I mean, you stuck here. A lot of people, it's getting hotter. A lot of people are moving. So from New York to Chicago, from California, you can tell by the real estate market right now, my brother. So, but at the same time, it's fun. It's fun to see a lot of collectors and a lot of people coming to South Florida. And I see a big difference and change in the last 20 years. I don't know if you've seen it, but Miami's getting more congested than everything. Oh, yeah. I was in traffic for over an hour. But it's nice to come to. I mean, everybody wants to come to the tropical island. I call it South Florida. Miami's a different monster.
For sure.
But, that's the whole idea, and bought my business down here. And the whole idea for a business is to attract a lot of people up north. And they're coming. They're coming. Trust me. They're getting to know who we are. And I love it.
So how do you specifically get into the store, Collectibles? What's the story behind that?
Oh, my God. So the story about way back when is one day I got bored with corporate life. Went to a garage sale. Bought some stuff at that time, and I decided to see if I could sell it. Sold the stuff, I was excited. I went to a garage sale. I made some money. And, I had said to myself, at that time I was married. I said, I could do something with this. I had that's a big jump, working for someone and becoming someone. It's not easy, like how you hear, and it's easy. It's not easy. But at the same time, if you have a passion and you have a drive, the whole idea is that you can actually do it and make it. What they say, 5% take that leap of faith. 95% work for that person who's 5%.
Right.
So, I bought something at a garage sale. I loved it, did it again. And at that time, Offer Up was hot. So I put it on Offer Up and I saw coming in. And then I started buying warehouses, auctions, saw the storage wars, and I started becoming one of those guys in a 5x10 and seeing the money come in. And you know what? It took some time. And then I said, let's see if we could have a leap of faith to maybe open up a brick and mortar store. Everybody laughed at me. Antiques, silver, spoons, forks. I didn't know what I was doing, but I took a chance. And then you learn from it. And you talk to other collectors and you adapt what they learn. That's how way back when became. So I got a diversity of people who came to me and learning from them. And I created kind of a different kind of secondhand goods store. And now we're on the map, man. We're blowing up. We're in Margate, Florida, and a lot of people know who we are now. You as well as everybody else. And you come in there, I'm gonna have fun with you, and you see it. You see the videos, and you see the passion, and the collections that you get in the store is unbelievable. That's the whole thing about Way Back When. You finding all these people that love the same thing you love, and that's how you bring them up.
Definitely. You just said something really interesting. You go from working for somebody to becoming somebody.
Yeah, man.
That's awesome, man.
That's the American dream, right?
Yeah.
And you know what? A lot of people out there that look at it, and if you want it, you have that drive. I'll tell you this: go for it. I'm not saying jumping into a pool, but get your feet wet and learn, and understand the craft.